We are back like we never fucking left. Took a bit of a hiatus. First off, Lions just kicked the living piss out of the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau, second time in a row. Remember when they did it at the end of last year, week 18? We were all fired up. Meaningless game. Seahawks already did the job. We weren't making the playoffs. Meaningless game. We went in there and kicked the shit out of them. Taylor Decker, it's different. Jamal Williams, don't play with Detroit. It's all dog around this mug. And then we fucking come back week 4 this year. We got the hype. We got the expectations. We're 2-1 this time. We still got plenty of season ahead. We're controlling our destiny. Playoffs on the table, bitch. Playoffs are setting the table for us, and we whooped their ass again, dude. It was a thing of beauty. 27-3. I think at halftime, our offensive line dominated them defensive line. We'll get into it all. Hiatus. Been on a bit of hiatus. Haven't posted a pod in a while. Don't think I did one at all last week. Was at a music festival this past weekend, Crossed in San Diego. If you're a house, techno, electronic fiend, highly recommend. Sick spot. San Diego fucking rules. By the way, San Diego rules. I got a chino firing right now. Excuse me. Had a coffee. Got my work shit out of the way today. The important stuff out of the way. Got a load of laundry in the wash right now. I am feeling fucking good. And by the way, did I mention the Lions just beat the hell out of the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau? They looked like Ford Field during the game. Forget at the end. We've all seen the clip. Let's go Lions at the end where they all come down and they're singing. Forget that. During the game, watching on TV, blue as far as the eye can see. I would honestly guess, I don't know, but didn't have boots on the ground. I would honestly guess that was like a 50-50 crowd. Watching on TV, watching the replay. I was watching at a bar, so it's tough to hear the game sound perfectly. Watching the replay last night. Dude, anytime the Lions make a big play, yeah, you can hear the fucking Honolulu Blue roaring. Chino is absolutely firing. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day in Detroit. And on top of all that, we just got word, Jameson Williams, that 6-week suspension, see ya, 4 weeks. He's eligible to come back this week against Carolina. It's all coming up Detroit. Everything's saying Lions. It's our fucking year. It's our fucking year. Now, before we put the cart ahead of the horse, shout out to Chris Castellani. He said that in his video yesterday, and I go, wow, cart in front of the... That'd be interesting if you had a cart trying to pull a horse. That'd be fun to watch. Before we do that, let's get one thing under control here. I don't want to temper expectations. I don't want to down the mood because I'm feeling the opposite of that. I feel like I have electricity running through my body. Team of Destiny, year of our lives. That's not Super Bowl. Obviously, I'd like to win the Super Bowl. Obviously, that's the ultimate goal. Team of our lives, that's hosting a playoff game. That's where we're at right now. That's what the expectation, that's the sight is set. Win the division. Win the division. Win the division. We are set on winning the division. Then we can talk about the NFC. Then we can talk about winning a playoff game. Then we can talk about getting our B&Bs in Vegas for the Super Bowl. Win the fucking division. It's never been more winnable. We've never had a team like this. Injuries, dude. Brian Branch playing through a fucking bum ankle. Taylor Decker starting the game. He's down bad. David Montgomery shaking up, and he runs like he's made out of fucking titanium. You understand? C.J. Gardner-Johnson, he's out, torn pec. It doesn't matter. Jameson sideline. It doesn't matter. These guys find a way to win football games. And look, that first half, it's easy to be happy. It's easy to be positive. It's easy to go, we're a dominant team. We're a great team. This is our year. It's easy to do all that shit. But when the second half comes around and the offense stalls a couple times, Jordan Love finally figures it out a little bit. They score a couple points. It's easy to go back into the much like that Chiefs game now. Here we go. Same old Lions. Here we go. This is it. This is what happens. It's easy to fall back into that. Those guys know it. The dude's in the locker room. Dan Campbell played here when we went 0-16. He fucking knows it. He understands the mentality. He's aware that shit can creep in when it's not going so perfectly anymore. And they staved it off. They scored a touchdown, 9-minute drive when they needed it, pounding with David Montgomery. Goff, he wasn't excellent last night. By no stretch was Goff unbelievable last night. Interception was fucking horrible. No ways around it. He made a couple bad throws, took a sack or two where it was like, hey, you got to get rid of that. But they found a way when they absolutely needed it, and they closed those dudes out. Jerry Jacobs. How about Jerry Jacobs? That guy gets a lot of shit, including from me. I mean, that Seattle game, he put on a clinic of what not to do. Guy's been around the block in Detroit. He's been here for a while. 2 interceptions for the young man. That second one to seal the game. Are you kidding me, Jerry Jacobs? How about that? The first one, the Anzalone tip, Jacobs right there. That was a tough catch, dude. That shit came up on his helmet, pulls it down in plus territory, go get 6 points. It was beautiful, although we got 3, but still, point remains. It was beautiful to watch, dude. I am fired the fuck up right now, if you can't tell. I am jacked up. I want the Lions to play again right now. Not to mention, we just did that to Green Bay in their house off 3 days rest. That Falcons game felt like it was the day before. Honest to God, I'm sitting at work Wednesday, and my buddy goes, "Dude, what are we doing for the Lions game tomorrow?" I'm like, "What? What the hell? What? The Falcons game? I swear to God, when I went to bed last night, the game was ending. What are you talking? We're playing again. 3 days rest, and they kicked the shit out of them. Now a win's a win. Okay, a win is a win. If they won that game by 1 point, if they had to come back from 24 down and scratch and claw and get it done that way, fine. But the way that they did it on 3 days rest, I mean, it was dominant. We owned those dudes. We fucking pulverized them. David Montgomery, that offensive line, Ben Johnson, we said, look, we're going to give this Montgomery guy the ball 30 times tonight. 30 times. Okay? Every single time you think he's tired, I promise you he feels better than you. I promise you he isn't. Every single time Green Bay thinks, all right, here's a stop. Keep the fucking chains moving. It was a beautiful thing to watch. That was a dominant performance. That wasn't like a flash in the pan. All right, we might have something. Pretty good team. Lions of old. 2013, 2011. Fucking mucus out the ass right now. 2011, 13, 15. When we made the wild card. And all right, we're pretty good. We got Calvin Johnson. Matthew Stafford can sling it. No. It wasn't like those. This was from the foundation. We are solid. On the outside, the scale, we are solid. The minds at work, the coaching staff, we are solid. We know what we are doing. We know what we are capable of. And we went out and fucking did it to a T. It was a beautiful thing to watch. In all our years watching football, it's not typically the Lions. It's never the Lions. You've watched teams. This Chino is out of control. You've watched teams where you just see them dominate games. The Chiefs, Bills, Bengals of recent, they just dominate. Like it's over before the game even starts. They just whistle the whistle, fucking never even close. The other team never had a chance. You've seen that. We just did that. Everybody in America watching that game, you cannot walk away from that game at Lambeau last night without going, that is a real fucking team. Now, Eagles are wagons. Niners are wagons. We got a lot of work to do. It's going to be a tough road ahead. There's no doubt about it. Any game in the NFL, there's never a gimme. But we have a good fucking team. We are built the right way. We win the right way. We have seen adversity a couple times already. We're 3-1. We've seen some adversity. Not to mention, obviously these guys saw adversity 3-13. Last year starting 1-8. We've seen our adversity. That Chiefs game felt a little bit, is this thing slipping away? The Seahawks game, they pumped us. We battled back, forced OT, they pumped us. Falcons game, offense couldn't really get it going. Defense stepped up, held them to shit. And then last night, you could feel it a little bit in that second half. You could feel it. We were at the bar, dude. That first half was fun. It's high fives, it's smiles, it's laughs. We're the best. Vegas, Super Bowl. Second half, third quarter comes around and you start to tighten up. It's a little straighter in your chair. The waiters come. No, stop. Not right now. The game's on. Start to get a little nervous, a little less fun. And they fucking held them off. That adversity came in. Crowd got into it. You could feel the momentum building for Green Bay. Jordan Love, he's starting to feel himself after a bad first half. And we fucking said, you know what, dude? You know what? I'm tired of that shit. It's not going to happen. Not with this team. Not this year. Not these guys. No. It's not going to fucking happen. And they went out and clamped that shit and won the game. I have so much saliva in my mouth. It's unbelievable. Oh, my God. That was incredible. I might call my dad after this and just go, you see that shit? Do you see what just happened? I mean, let's go through it. Let's go through it step by step. First things first, dude. It's a simple game. I said this in my video after. It's a simple game, football is. If you dominate the line of scrimmage, you are going to be a good team. There's no two ways about it. Find me one team in the history of the league that had a top 10 O-line and a top 10 defensive line. Now, I don't know if our defensive line is top 10, but the last 2 weeks they have been. You can't argue that. Find me a team that's been dominant on both sides of the ball on the line that hasn't gone at least 500. Has that ever happened? If you win the line, you are going to win games. That's how we won. Jared Goff isn't Pat Mahomes. We don't have Joe Burrow back there. Amon-Ra, he's nasty. Sam Laporta, he's fucking filthy too. God damn, the Vikings gave thanks. Thank you, Minnesota, for taking Hawkinson off our hands. We're not super fancy razzle-dazzle outside. We have milk, not milk and cookies, milk and steak up front with a side of nails. And we punch it down your face as much as we want to. David Montgomery, 30-something carries, couple catches, just kept pounding 4 yards, 5 yards, 6 yards, low in the shoulder, making them feel it. They didn't want to tackle his ass by the end. Go watch the last couple drives. Go watch the fourth quarter, what the Lions did. Every time they gave David Montgomery the ball, look at the Packers' body language. Guys bouncing off, guys falling off, guys diving at the legs, guys just disinterested, just don't want any part of him. They've seen him enough. Yeah, I don't want to tackle him this time. I tried the first 20 times. 21, he can just have the extra couple yards. It was fucking methodical. That was some shit where it's just, if you, football porn, like you just, oh yeah, dude. That's how you run the football. That's what a team's supposed to look like. That's what dominant football looks like. That's what we did for 4 fucking quarters. The offensive line is unreal, dude. Letting Jared Goff sit back there. Look, he's not the most mobile guy in the world. As a matter of fact, he might be the least mobile guy in the world, but they let him sit when they need to. He can make his reads. He can make his throws. I think he's thrown a pick in each game, which is not great. But once he gets the bad one out of the way, he tightens up. He doesn't make a ton of mistakes. He makes the one, but he doesn't make a ton after that. We can run the ball at will. Jahmyr Gibbs, little change of pace, Swiss Army knife, and people are upset with his carries and his usage. Dude, I get it. We spent the 12th pick on him. I get it. Having Jalen Carter, can you imagine? That would be, we'd probably be 4-0. I can't even imagine. But I don't hate the way they're using him. We don't need to give him the ball 30 times. David Montgomery is built for that. David Montgomery is the workhorse. David Montgomery is the guy in between the tackles, pounding away, weakening the defense. We don't need Jahmyr Gibbs to get the ball 20 times. Bring him in, change of pace, couple flash plays, little decoy. Don't overuse him, dude. He's a young kid. Ease him into it. We don't need to give Jahmyr Gibbs the weight of the world right off the bat. We're 3-1. We're scoring points. We're winning games. If it's not broken, don't fix it. We don't need to just put him in there just because. We don't need to force feed him just because. Go with what works. Go with what suits the game plan. It's a different team. It's a different offense with David Montgomery back there. We gave Jahmyr the ball up the middle a few times, and he did a good job, but it's a different offense when you got David Montgomery bearing down on you. It just is. Right? The wide receivers, Amon-Ra, a couple nice plays. Sam Laporta, I mean, he's been unbelievable. Josh Reynolds, Mr. Reliable. Every time you forget that Josh Reynolds is on the team, he just makes a big third down catch, and you go, oh, shit, this guy's fucking good. This guy's like our third, fourth option. He's good. Khalif Raymond, brother, return and punts, end around. He is the ultimate Swiss Army knife, a forgotten hero. Every time the Lions play, it feels like. And how about the fucking defense? That first half, that defense, it looked like we had an NFL front four going against Michigan State. Honest to God. We were in the backfield every single play. Jordan Love, talk about seeing ghosts. That dude was caught in a house of horror. He didn't know which way to look. He didn't know what green was. He didn't know what blue was. He didn't even want the ball. I thought by halftime he was going to go, Coach, my wrist is a little tight. You might want to put the backup in. I don't know if I just can't grip the ball. Get me out of here, Coach. We were bearing down on that fucker the entire game. Aaron Jones, thanks for coming back, pal. He didn't do shit. He had nowhere to go. We ate their front four alive. Aleem McNeil, we're talking about steals. Brian Branch, Aiden Hutchinson. Aleem McNeil was a third rounder. That guy's a game wrecker. Aiden Hutchinson, steal of the draft, and he was the second pick. That dude's a dominant force. I mean, Myles Garrett, Nick Bosa, Aiden Hutchinson. Like, is that the hierarchy? Pass rushers? The guy's unbelievable. Jack Campbell making plays. He's in there almost every play, it feels like. Brian Branch might be the best player on the fucking team. Brian Branch might be the best player on the team. Hurts his ankle. Fuck that. He wants back in. Rest it up, Brian. Rest it up. Get some frozen peas. Play a little Mario Kart. Take a load off, buddy. We're going to need you down the stretch. Jerry Jacobs, we talked about him making plays. Tracy Walker filling in for CJ like he never missed a beat. It was a beautiful thing. Iffy getting in on some tackles. Malcolm Rodriguez, Anzalone everywhere, tipping that interception. Comiskey, the 2-point conversion at the goal line. Comiskey out of nowhere getting that play. It was a huge momentum switch. Oh, I'm talking a million miles an hour, but I can't stop. I feel it in my loins. I don't know what happened. Between Seattle to Atlanta to last night, I don't know what happened. I don't know what Aaron Glenn said or did. I don't know what these players said or did. No idea. But this team, that defense is miles away from what they were in Seattle. We don't need this Green Bay. We don't need the Atlanta performance every single week. Dude, if they're between what they were with Seattle and what they were last night, if they're that every single week, we're going to win a lot of fucking football games. And God forbid James Houston comes back down the line. God forbid we sustain this. We're going to be a problem. We are going to be a fucking problem. What a night. I can't believe guys doubt Brad Holmes. Remember that on draft night? Oh, he took a running back. Oh, he took a linebacker. Oh, he took Brian Branch. Oh, he took a tight end. All those guys are pitching in. All those guys are making plays. Without Laporta, without Brian Branch, without Jack Campbell, do we win that game last night? I don't know. It certainly isn't as big of a win as it was with them. That might be a nail-biter without those guys. Sam Laporta, dude, he has been unfucking believable. After week 1, he has been unreal every single game. Jack Campbell makes plays. He flashes every week. Brian Branch might be the best player on the team. Branch and Hutchinson are the two best players on the team, and I don't even think it's close. I mean, dude, it is just everything is fucking clicking, and we're bringing back J-Mo. Look, man, I'm just going to tell you right now. I'm going to drink some beer tonight. I mean, I'll tell you what, Dan. Have a few for me, pal. A couple cold ones. Oh. We just whooped the Packers in Lambeau. National TV. 4 in a row. Sole possession of the NFC North. 3-1. This might be our year. Get your rest. We got 10 days off. Carolina next week. They fucking stink. I don't know if that's in Detroit or in Carolina. Either way, kick the hell out. We should win that game by 20. Get to 4-1 and stack them. Stack them. Week after week. Stack them. Can't dwell on the past. Can't celebrate the Lambeau game. Can't celebrate the Chiefs game. Stack them. Each one's a new test. Stack them. You're better than they are. You can beat anybody on any field at any fucking time. Eagles, Chiefs, Dolphins, I don't give a fuck. Give me the Lions. It's a beautiful time to be a Detroit Lions fan. Take a quick break. We'll talk about the college games. Michigan State. I mean, come back down to earth a little bit. We'll talk some state. Michigan won. A little bit shaky there at the beginning against Rutgers, but they took care of business. Their first big test, I think, on the road this week against Nebraska. That'll be a fun game to watch. And MSU, it's just, I got nothing. Left for the Dogs. Quick break. I'm glad we got the happy stuff out of the way with the Lions, because us MSU fans, it is dark times. It is not good. Now, like I mentioned, I was at the music festival this weekend. Watched the first half of the Maryland game before we went in. Shouldn't have done that, dude. Talk about a fucking vibe killer. Thank God. We had a sick B&B. San Diego rules. The booze was flowing. It was good times, good friends. Second place in the game of Clue, the board game of Clue the night before. That helped a little bit. I don't know. I don't know what to say about State at this point, because you know me. If you just listened for the last 18 minutes, I want to be the positive vibes guy. I am a positive vibes guy. I'm a believer. I don't ever want to be the person going into the games, whether it's MSU or the Lions for the past 3 decades or anybody going, here we go again. Yeah, this is a loss. I don't trust these guys. I don't ever want to be that guy. But I can't, I mean, there's no recourse with State. They got smoked by Maryland again, and I saw the tweets. Dude. Well, if they don't fumble in the red zone and they don't lose the ball on that 4th down and a couple things happen, it's a closer game. Dude, it was 31-9. Maybe you can say that if it's 27-24. It was 31-9 in East Lansing against Maryland. And Maryland's solid. Towley has always been a good QB, but it's 31-9. Coming off what they just did against Washington the week prior, it's 31-9. Don't fucking tell me we're taking moral victories. Oh, well, if you look at the total yardage, it was actually closer than the score would reflect. Shut up. We got our fucking asses kicked. Well, if they don't fumble here, maybe I don't care. It's 31-9. We don't play defense. Our offense is worse than the end of the D'Antonio era. Noah Kim cannot make a throw, and I hate to pile on. I was rooting for him. I wanted the best player to play. I was rooting for him. And if he was the best player, if he is better than Hauser, if he is better than Leavitt, that fucking sucks because they must not be very good either. But you got to test someone else. You got to try someone else out there. We know what we have with Kim. It's been 4 games. He's played nobodies. He's played real competition, even against the nobodies. He's missing throws he should make. Remember the Richmond game? He missed like 8 throws in that Richmond game where it's like, dude, it's a fucking 4-yard drag. You have to deliver the football. And I don't know if Caden Hauser's the savior. I don't know if Sam Leavitt is the next Pat Mahomes. But let's find out. Let's at least try. Let's see what they got. Because we know what we have with Kim. It's the same fucking story as it was last year with Peyton Thorne. You know what you have with Thorne. We've seen it. Auburn fans are seeing it now. Go on Auburn Twitter while they're playing and Peyton Thorne's in at QB. Go see what Auburn fans say. It's the same shit. They just can't get the job done. Not at the level we need them to. Not with the team we have. You plug those guys in with the college equivalent of the Lions. They got a line. They've got a defense. They've got a couple playmakers. All right. Maybe they do get the job done. Maybe they are enough. With this fucking roster, not even close. Got to try something else. I don't know. I'm just out of gas with State. What is there else to say with MSU? I'm not going to take the moral victories. Well, this freshman looked pretty good, but he's going to be in fucking FSU colors by the start of next year. There's just no moral victories. And here's the thing. I've said it before. Michigan State, the D'Antonio era, the last 10, 15 years, when I was in school there, it was a winning program. It wasn't like, hey, we went 7-5 this year. Let's throw a parade and burn a couple couches. No. It was, hey, we won 10 games and we won the Big Ten. Hey, we beat Michigan. We beat OSU at the Horseshoe. Let's fucking party. It became, I expect to beat these teams. I expect to give OSU a run. I expect to beat Michigan. I expect to win at least 8, 9 games every single season. I expect to recruit. I expect to have competent offensive line play. I expect the quarterback to make throws that I was making in high school. I expect the defense to understand how a zone coverage works. I expect the front four to get off the block every once in a while. I expect linebackers to at least be within 3 yards of a tight end in pass coverage. And we don't do any of that. I mean, we don't do any of that. We don't block at all. We got maybe the worst offensive line in the country. I mean, we don't block at all. We don't rush the passer at all. How we are worse at that this year than we were last beats me. No fucking clue how that's even possible. The secondary, they might be a little bit better. I do still like the young guys, Spencer, Tatum, and Mangum. Chance Rucker had a couple nice plays. I do like some of the young guys still. But they're young, and I don't want to talk about potential. I don't want to talk about the defense in 2025 might be all right. Yeah, the defense in 2025 might be all right. Just like this year, they might have been all right. I want something tangible. I want Michigan State to be Michigan State. When I think of Michigan State, I think of good defense. I think of guys who run the ball, who can block. I don't think of Oregon. I don't think of USC. I don't think of high-flying acrobat circus plays. I think of 4 yards, play action, 8-yard out to the tight end. Here and there, a guy like Aaron Burbridge will pop and make a crazy play. I mean, we don't do any of that. It's hard to be excited, and it's hard to come on here and talk about him. I mean, you know what I mean? What is there to say? I can't sugarcoat it. I can't come on here and be, well, hey, Tyrell Henry's promising. I don't fucking care. Hey, Jordan Hall, he's the man. I don't fucking care. Hey, Chance Rucker, he had a couple nice plays. I don't fucking care. Half of these guys, there's a decent chance they're going to be in other teams' colors by the time next season starts. It's a reality. And I don't want to come on here and just talk shit about State. I don't want to come on here and say, well, we stink, this blows, nothing's good. I don't want to do that either. So what is there to say? It sucks. And we'll have the coaching search, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there, and we'll talk about that when it, ramps up and the season ends and there's nothing else going on. But, man, just what the fuck happened, bro? What the fuck happened? I guess we'll talk about Michigan. 4-0. Beat Rutgers. Good win for them again. Anyone's a good win. Anyone's a good win. I don't care how JJ played. I don't care that it was close a little bit at the beginning. Any win's a good win, especially when you're chasing what they are. You just fucking survive and advance. It's all that matters. First test for them against Nebraska this week. Now, I don't know much about Nebraska other than they stink again for the millionth year in a row. I do know it's in Lincoln. I do know it's supposed to be like 90-plus degrees. I do know they're going to have 90,000 people there or whatever it is, fucking yelling, fired up, ready to go, expecting to win. I know, they can scare some teams here and there. They're 2-2. Who have they beaten? Who have they lost? They beat Louisiana Tech. That's not great. They beat Northern Illinois. That's not great. They got smoked by Colorado and lost to Minnesota. So they're not very good. But it is in Nebraska. It's a hostile environment. It's Michigan's first road game, and it's not like you're going on the road to Minnesota. Going on the road to Nebraska for your first one, much like State this week, going on the road to Iowa, that's a tall fucking order. And I guess I didn't talk about MSU Iowa. I expect us to lose. I expect us to make their offense look like USC. I expect us to make their defense look like the 85 Bears. I don't expect shit from MSU this weekend. Michigan, on the other hand, I expect them to win the game. Harbaugh's back. I expect them to play a little bit harder, not just because it's the road game and this is their first kind of big test, but, because Harbaugh's back. I think they want to make a statement. I think they've yet to make a statement in one of these games. I think they've probably heard people talking about how they haven't. They've heard people doubting them. JJ, a couple interceptions against Bowling Green. I don't know. These guys are beating not so good teams by not so much. I think they've heard that. I think they want to change that. I think they want to fucking smoke somebody, and I think Nebraska is the perfect team to do it. Nebraska on the road, I think that's a great opportunity for U of M to go, yep, it's for real. We're serious. We took it easy on those other guys. This is no fucking joke, though. I expect them to run the ball. That offensive line, it's much like the Lions. It's tough to be bad when you got a sicko line. It's tough to be bad when you rush the passer. It doesn't matter how hot it is outside when you can run the ball for 4 yards of carry and your big fellas are making their big fellas tired. I don't know. I'm not a Michigan fan. It's hard to say, but I expect them to win. I just want to talk about the Lions, to be honest. Fucking four straight against Green Bay. 3-1. Smoked them. It's a beautiful time. That's all I got. I kind of blew my load in the first 20 minutes, but I'm going to call my dad. You guys have a good weekend.